It's just about Halloween, and I thought I'd make a little welcome sign for my house. This is what the end product looks like, and let's go through the entire design process and see how we made it. Hey folks, today we're going to go through and make something for our laser cutter that is Halloween themed. I don't really have a plan here, so we're going to go in, and the only thing I have written down on my plans are that's going to be some type of welcome sign like I did for the 4th of July. It's going to need to involve pumpkins, some type of spider web, and either a ghost or blood or something else that kind of just ties together that kind of feeling. So my Glowforge R's prints 12 by 12. I'm actually going to create this to be 11 by 11 just so that we have all of that set. And it's going to be circular. So the first thing we're going to do is go in here. We'll go in, hold shift while we're doing that, and grab a circle. And then down here on the bottom left, we can make that 11 by 11, and then we can set that right in the middle, 0, 0. All right, so that's going to be our background. So I am just going to label this layer 1, which is going to be kind of how I'm going to do this. So we're going to duplicate this, copy and paste. That's going to be layer 2, and we're going to have to figure out what exactly we're doing with layer 2 here. So let me turn that off real fast here. And layer 1, I'm going to have be a dark color, I think, with a stroke of just 1 pixel. All right, and the whole purpose of that is just to give us some background so we can see that cut, which is what we're looking for. I'm going to delete that first one that we did. We're going to copy and paste this again. This is going to be layer 2, excuse me for my dog, but we're going to change the size of that. We're going to say that we want roughly a 1/4 inch all the way around, so that's going to be 10.5 by 10.5, and then we're going to have to offset that by a 1/4 inch both ways just to center it up. So now we have our next cuts that we're going to do. We just need to figure out what we're going to have in here. So taking a look here, I went in and did a couple of searches for pumpkins, for spider webs, and for dripping blood. I like this guy, so we're going to copy this. We're going to copy the image. We're going to paste it on there. We're going to drag it out to be the size that we roughly need it to be, which looks something like that, I guess. And then what we're going to do is go in and trace this out. So I'm going to use the pen tool, and I'm just going to slowly go from one side to the other, and I'm going to actually turn the curvy curves on here just so that it connects the dots all the way through all this stuff. All right, that's good, although I'm not thrilled with that curve, but it's fine. We can go back and play with it later. We'll do the same thing here, and it's just going to be a matter of time to go through and do this. So I'll time lapse this part just as we draw out all of the things that we need to do, because this is the tedious stuff. All right, so now you can see that we have that all traced out. I still need to go through and knock out these areas that it's not closed in so that it doesn't cut these off, so it's all one piece. And we're going to go through and do that in just a moment. It's not a big deal, but we are going to have to kind of zoom in on some of these spots to make sure our anchor points really get taken care of. So if we take a look down here, we're going to go to the node tool, or the letter A. We're going to grab that node and bring it down onto that line so that it exists there. And then we should be able to use our knife tool here, or K, and kind of just go in and slice out parts of this. So from here to there, I could put that in, and then I should be able to go over to the node tool and click on those pieces and delete them. Uh-oh, that one didn't work. Let's see if this one worked. Nope. Okay, so I have to go back to the knife tool, and we'll keep making some spots where we'll be able to slice this stuff up. Nothing big deal. Then we'll go to the node tool, and we'll just start removing chunks of that stuff. There we go. There we go. There we go. And that one can get moved in. This one can also get moved in like so. And then we have that one nice and clean out there. And it's just a matter of doing that through these other ones. I'm also going to have to go in with the node tool and clean up some of this, just to make sure we have a little bit more consistency set in there. making sure that we're not getting stuff that's too close. Like that spot right there is very close, so we'll bring it down just a touch, and it's going to help us out in doing all that. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to cut up the rest of these, fix any areas like this hot mess right there, which needs to be up a little bit. This one needs to be down and over a little bit. So I'm going to fix all those up, and then we're going to come back and figure out what else we're going to add to this, because this is going to be layer 2. Our first layer is just going to be the circle. The second layer is going to be the spider web, and then we're going to build up from there. I'm thinking we might put a pumpkin or two in here as well. I don't know yet. We'll play with that, but I have to clean this up first before I can figure out those next steps. So bear with me while we go through and do the next steps here. Alright, so that took a little while to do, but if you take a look here, I grouped it all together. So we have layer 2, all of that's there, and I'm happy with how it looks. It's not exactly a spider web as far as like sharp corners and all that stuff, but I didn't want it to be. There are a few areas I need to clean up, like this passage right here is just far too close, so we're just going to grab that node and pull it down. And I think I got most of the others that were tight, but I can always go back and correct those. What I think I want to do, though, is have some pumpkins across the bottom. So I'm going to need to rearrange a lot of this stuff. The idea here is I'm going to have 3 pumpkins, 1, 2 in the middle, and then a third one on the right-hand side. The one on each side are kind of going to be in the background, and then the third one will pop up. The middle one will pop up a little farther, and the welcome sign will go across there. That will make more sense in a moment. But first I need to go back into here, and I have this pumpkin here, which I'm going to use as my basis. I'm not necessarily going to include the stem. I might, but we're going to copy that image. We'll paste it in here, and then we're going to use that as our basis for kind of getting everything else set up here. So the first pumpkin is going to be in the middle here, and then I'm going to have another pumpkin over here, and it's going to be turned a little bit maybe, like that, and then I'll paste another one in here, and it'll be around this way. So we have those there. Now I can turn these off and on as needed. We're going to start off with this middle one. These guys are going to be a little shorter, so we'll flatten those out just a touch, just to let them be visually a little bit different. And then we'll have all of that stuff in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly, and I'm going to move this down towards the bottom so that it is entirely part of that bottom area. So I think that's good. And what I can do if I want is I can bring that layer above so I can see where everything's at. So I can make sure I'm tracing on there, which is fine. All right, so I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is just going to trace out this pumpkin. I'm not going to do the face or anything like that. I'm just literally just tracing out the outside edges of it. And then what's going to happen is we'll have this as a back layer. We'll print another one on top, or cut another layer on top, and then we'll cut out the eye hole. So I can color this black with the rest of the web here, and then we'll have the black of the eye holes, and I can use orange or whatever I want for the other things. So we'll go back into our pen tool here, and we're just going to quickly kind of scope out what this bad boy is supposed to look like. Again, doesn't have to be anything wild. We are going to throw a stem on there, and I'm going to go back and edit all of this in a little bit here. But for right now, this is where we're going. All right. Then we'll go into our node tool. This one needs to be rounded, so we'll change that over to a rounded one. And these guys up at top do not need to be rounded. I want those to be nice sharp corners. So we'll do that. We can have it pop out a little there. And I think that's all well and good. I'm not going to go too crazy with this, but we'll try to get that to match roughly where it's at. Then when I turn that off, you can see the outline of the pumpkin is there, which means we're going to have to get rid of all of this internal stuff, which we'll deal with in just a little bit here. But I do need to create the other pumpkin. So I'm going to turn that one off for now. We'll turn this guy on. And I'm going to move that down below our other ones just so we can see everything a little easier. And we'll go here. And let's see, how do I want to do this? So make it a little bit smaller. And I think that will work. And then we'll go on to our pen tool and we'll continue off of where we have this existing pumpkin. And we'll build on to that. This one we're just going to make it slightly skinnier because it is smaller. And we'll bring it down there. And we're just going to have to play with where this is all positioned at. But I think right there is going to be good. And then we'll close it up. All right. If we turn off that, we have our other rough pumpkin. Again, we're going to have to cut stuff out and do all that. But I'm going to turn off that one. And then our third and final pumpkin. Where did you go? Did I drag you into the wrong thing? I did. So let me go ahead and put that there. Turn that back on. And nope, not that tool. Get to our selection tool and resize this bad boy just a touch. And we're going to have it exist in that rough area. Again, nothing that can't be changed. We're not locking anything into permanence here. We're just trying to play with what we can do with our pumpkin design here. And then we're going to have to cut out a ton of stuff, which is fine. All right. So I'm going to delete those pumpkins, the images we have there. These curves for the stroke, I'm going to change them to a different color just so I can see them a little easier. And we'll just do that for all of, oh, not that one, my bad. We'll just do that for all of those just so we can see what the heck's going on. And then maybe we can figure out what we need to get rid of and all of that. All right, but we have our selection tool. Let's start off with this one and see what we need to do for it. So first things first, we have, I don't want to have a fill. I just want the stroke to be a different color, which I can see it is. And then we're going to go with K again, and we're just going to start cutting away the things that we don't need. And you can see we're going to remove large chunks of this, which is totally fine. All right, so now let's go to our selection tool and just slowly remove the things that we know we don't need. And bring those into line with each other. Because this is all still going to be part of that layer. It's just that we need to be careful in what we choose to remove and not remove from this. There we go. All right, now I can go back into my node tool and remove those pieces. Actually just going to remove that entire part of the web there because it doesn't really need to be there. Alright, so I think I have that done. You can see where the pumpkin's going to be. They're not detailed right now, and they're also connected to the web because it's all going to be part of the same cut. I am eventually going to have to group these things together. You can see they're individual right now, but I'll get there in a little bit. But if you turn off layer 2, you can see that we just have the outside circle, and then we have the pumpkin pieces. We're going to go back in. We're going to start a new layer here. Bring in a new circle that's going to line up with the interior of this circle. The only difference here is that the pumpkins are going to be fully connected, so we'll get that done. And then from there, I think I'm going to have some drips of blood or something, and then there's going to be a final layer that goes over top of all this that just says Happy Halloween or something along those lines. I'm not really sure yet, and I may include a banner across the middle, at least the spacing banner, so we could put the welcome sign on there more clearly, but we'll see what that looks like here in just a little bit. But to start off with, we're going to draw our circle on again. Hold shift to make sure it's centered. We're just going to do it at 10.5, and then it's going to be a 1/4 inch in from each of those, so it's centered up. And if we turn layer 2 back on, there should be no difference between those. That's what I want. Now what I need to do is I need to go back in here, correct the pumpkins to get them to line up properly. And also for these back ones, what I want to do is I want to draw on, basically I want to make sure that they have faces that when we cut it out, I can color these orange. The back ones, if at layer 2 here, these are all going to be black with the web. And then when we cut this layer out, layer 3, we'll be able to see the black coming through from the pumpkins, and then we'll do the same thing with this last pumpkin in the middle. So we just have a little bit of cutting to do to get this all lined up, and I'm going to use my node tool to try to connect some of these together, just so that we have some of this taken care of a little bit better. So the nice thing is that we don't have to do too much to get these connected. They're not going to be off by all that much. We're basically just filling in where some of the webs would have come in, and we can correct for all of that. Oops. We can correct for that pretty easily. And what's nice is we can turn back on layer 2 and just see how far off we are with any of this stuff, which doesn't look like we're missing a lot, if any, with those. This area here is going to be our biggest question mark. We're going to need to fill in this area, and I just need to see what's there right now. So we're going to take our pen tool. We're going to go from here, oops, making sure we have nothing selected. Let's unselect everything, and then we'll take our pen tool. We'll go from here up to there, and then we can hopefully use our little tool here and put little curvy curves on there. Maybe not. Okay, let's try that again. Be in our node tool. Nope, it's not going to work there. Okay, so I'll just go back in the tool here, and then that should allow us to play with the roundness of this thing. So again, turning layer 2 back on, we can see that we're not coming out of those bounds, which is what we're looking for. That looks fine. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Connect this point into there, and then we'll play with that, turning layer 2 on, making sure we're not bumping too far out of there, which looks fine. So that's all well and good. The last things we need to do is cut out these bottom areas here so that they're connected to that loop, and then we should be in really good shape for the next part of this. Now, I know originally what I was looking to do was put some like dripping blood across the top here, but I don't think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to put like a moon, and then we'll have the center bar for Happy Halloween or whatever we're going to put in there. So I'm going to start off here with a moon. It's going to be that. I don't really know what I'm doing at this point, but we'll do that, and then we can go in here and bring in our knife tool, and we'll cut that bad boy down. All right, and then I should be able to select the various pieces that we have here. Put another one in, and get that, and that. Bring that in like so. And then we're just gonna have to cut this area out here. Wham, wham, bam. And then we'll just remove that section of stuff. And then we'll just need to clean up this hot mess of spacing here. I'm going to try not to move any of the circles parts there because it's already set to be quote-unquote perfect. So I'm not going to move those. We're just going to slide these bad boys right over top. There we go. We got our moon, and then we'll have an area here to put on that. And this is our third layer, so we need to also still cut in the little faces for our back two pumpkins, and then our top pumpkin we're going to round out, and be able to put the face in for that. And then hopefully, I think we'll be in really good shape. But let's take a look here and get that in place like so. I'll bring that up just a touch. And sure, that looks fine. Then we'll bring our knife tool in, and again, we'll cut out all of the things that we don't need to have. So then I can go in and delete these pieces, and that, and that, and that, and then we'll do the same thing with this. going to try to cut that back a little farther. And this one's going to get cut over there. And we'll fix those up in just a second, but let's go over here and do the same thing. And then we can be done with this layer. And I still need to add on the last pieces, but we'll get that in there, no problem. So cut that, cut that, cut that, and then we'll get rid of those points. Oops, let's try moving that over. There we go. And then we'll bring in our cut points here. Cut you, cut that. Oh yeah, that's way better. All right, now we just need to line some of these up here. Making sure, okay, that doesn't overlap. It doesn't really matter if it does that, but I think it doesn't look as nice, so I want to kind of eliminate that as best as we can. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. It's a little Halloween thing that's going on my dresser in my living room. So I guess it's not a dresser. It's kind of just like holds all the random things that are in my house. So we have that. All right. And then our last pieces that we need to do here. Let's take a look at our shapes. Do we have a triangle? We do have a triangle tool. Beautiful. All right. So I can put 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And then we'll rotate those ever so much. And then we'll throw on, let's use the pen tool. And we're going to use straight edges there. That's special right there. Look at the quality of that. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Hopefully, maybe we'll get it a little better. I don't know. There we go. That one looks way better than that one as a hot mess. It has like a buck tooth and then fangs. Whatever, that's fine. It will cut those things out. So all of that is going to be part of layer 3. So I'm going to highlight all of those. We'll group them together, and that's going to be layer 3. All right, and then we just have our last layer. So I'm going to copy that and paste it over. We'll have that. And we'll put our second circle in there. It's going to be 0.25, 0.25, 10 and a half, 10 and a half. There we go. Now I can turn off layer 3. And I still have my pumpkins there. The reason for that is just because now I can kind of finish up what I need to do with them, which is I can turn off the right pumpkin and the left pumpkin. And then I can figure out where exactly this guy is going to go in for the last one. I'll turn on layer 2 just to kind of get a guide there, or maybe layer 3 so I can see where that's going to kind of actually wind up at. And then we'll try to connect these things together. So from there, we're going to add a point, and a point. Cool. And then over here, we'll add a point, and a point, and a point. And then we're going to try to edit these nodes. Nope, not that. Just want that node, and we're going to round that one out. Going to round this one out. Then that node is also going to get rounded. This node will also get rounded. And let's turn layer 3 back on, and you can see how much farther outside we are with that. So now I need to find those particular items and bring them up. So they stay with that. This guy's going to get rounded there. You're going to go out there like so. And maybe we'll bump this guy. Okay. It's not glorious, but it will work. So I turn layer 2 off. So layer 2 right now is just going to be this. We have, we need to put Happy Halloween in there, which we can get that text, not a big deal. And then we're going to try to just cut out the face on this. All right, I want to make one a little bigger just to, I don't know, add some uniqueness to it. And we're just going to go in here and do something like that. I love it. And the last thing we need to do here is go with our knife tool or the letter K. And we're just going to remove some of that extra that we most definitely do not need. All right, and that should be good. Let me save that real fast so it doesn't crash on me. We'll move that node and that one. There we go. That looks better. And if we turn layer 3 back on just so we can take a look here. And I guess I need to turn my pumpkins back on. All right, so then we have that. And the last thing I need to do, let me just double check and make sure. Okay. The last thing I need to do is put that Happy Halloween in there. I don't know what font I'm going to use for that. Or I might just say welcome. That actually works out pretty nicely, but let's take a look and see what types of fonts we have. I'd like something that looks a little Halloween-y. That looks kind of Halloween-y. All right, let's play with the size though. Get that there. Okay. That's cool. I'm gonna go with that. And then we're gonna convert that over to curves. And with all of that there, we're gonna add a stroke of 1 point. And I'm just going to try to make sure there's no fill on any of that. So if I highlight all of them, nope, it doesn't want to let me do it, so I'll do it one by one. And this is just permanent marker, I think is the font I use for this. It kind of has a little funkiness to it. I kind of dig it. So we're just going in and turning those off as we need to. And that will be that sector of stuff. So let me go ahead and take all of this. We're going to group all that together. That's going to be layer 4. So if we turn all of this on, it looks like a hot mess. Layer 1 is just the main circle. I'm going to turn the pumpkins off for now. And I'll turn layers 3 and 4 off. I guess I'll keep the pumpkins on. What are these two curves for? Oh, they're part of layer 3? Or are they part of layer 4? I don't know what they're part of. Or why they exist. Okay, let's back up here. All right, so we have that. If we turn on, that's all layer 1. If I turn on layer 2, my pumpkin, pumpkin, and pumpkin. Okay, that's all good. Let's turn off layer 1 and layer 2. Layer 3, okay, they're supposed to be part of layer 3. There we go. And it looks like for layer 3, I need to include our big circle. Layer 4, I did that for. Layer 2, I did that for. So I just need to add that to layer 3. All right, so let me just get that in there. 0, 0, and it's going to be 11 by 11. There we go, and that's going to be part of layer 3. So we have original layer, easy. Layer 3, we have to turn on our pumpkins for that still, but easy. I'll keep the pumpkins on. Layer 2 looks like that. Layer 3 looks like that. And then layer 4 looks like that. Okay, I'm cool with all that. So now it's just a matter of exporting these over and seeing what they do, and we'll take a look in a moment. So here we are cutting our first piece out. This is the simplest, this is the back place, our first layer. This was about a 7-minute cut, and everything else took significantly longer. In total, this is about a 3-hour cut between all 4 layers. And here are all the pieces cut out. You can see I have the lettering that's individually done, and they're kind of stacked in order here. But we have our first layer, our top layer, that's going to be visible. We have the kind of background for the main pumpkins and the ones behind. Then we have the backsplash for kind of everything. And then finally, the last little piece. And when we layer them all on there, you can see that everything should look all nice and good. And the welcome signs would go out there and get in there. That's an M that I put there by accident. Let me get the actual W. And we'll go through and get those in there. I'm still playing with colors a little bit, but I'm in the zone of where I want to be with all this. And this O, just a heads up, I definitely put in upside down. You can see it right there. But that's the end product with it painted. I painted the base layer white. The next layer up was all black. The next layer up like that was black for the center pumpkin, orange for the rest, and then white for the area, and then like a silvery color for the moon. And then I stained it American walnut or American chestnut, I forget which one, for the top layer to see what it is. But I'm pretty happy with how this one came out. It was a really fun little project to do, and I'm really glad that I got a chance to go through and play and make something cool. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.